All right, Shawn FightHype.com here with Showtime. Shawn Porter, just a little over a week out from traveling to Los Angeles on a main event on Fox PBC against Sebastian Formella of Germany. Champ, how you feeling a week out from fight night?
Social distancing. It's got me, man. I'm so over it. I'm so ready to just get back to living life the way it was just last year. You know, so let's get into the fight, man. I'm tripping on how we can't even just get down the way we've always gotten down, and it's because of the way the world is now. You know, I was about to walk outside, and as I was thinking it, my dad said, "Hey, you need to grab a mask." And then now we've separated ourselves just a little bit more so that we could take our masks off. You know, it's just ridiculous. But just getting into the fight, man. This is what we need. You know, this is the next move for us, especially coming off of this pandemic. Myself, I'm blessed. I know a lot of athletes in this world have been blessed enough to have facilities, their own facilities, whether that's at home or, you know, close by, that they can train and get everything done, and that's what we've been able to do from the gym we've built up back here in my dad's backyard to the cold tub that I have right there in my garage that I got in last night. We've had everything at our disposal that we need to be ready for August 22nd.
In the past, you know, even going back to the amateurs, how did you deal with a guy when he's real tall? Formella's almost 6 feet tall. What's the best way to deal with that?
For me, it was just, it always worked. You know, the things that my dad has taught me over the years have always worked, whether that was feigning the guy and getting to him with the jab, or forcing him to give up his range and his distance and come down to my level. We've been able to be very manipulative in the ring as an amateur and as a pro, and that is, I think, the key for this fight with Formella, is to manipulate him, make him think that he has range and distance and the space that he likes to work at, and from there it'll just be doing what we do as porters, man. Get in there, work that body, of course use the jab and break him down.
You make him do what you want to do. Now,
yeah.
You touched on the jab too. When a guy has a good jab, knows how to use it, how do you take a jab away from a fighter if that's his primary weapon? You know.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a combination of things. It's you can jab with the guy that jabs. You can jab first. You can counter his jab with the jab. Counter his jab with another different type of counter. Of course, feigning him. Of course, moving away from him to make him feel like he does not have the range to even use a jab. Of course, getting in on him so that he does not have the range to use the jab. There's a combination of things, man, and that's what my expertise is, man. My expertise is getting a guy out of what he does well and having my way.
Are all those options you're talking about that you have in the ring, is that what they're talking about when they say levels?
When you talk about the levels of a fighter and what level a fighter is on, that's essentially what it is. You show your level by showing showing your knowledge in the ring, in those quick moments. Also, the adjustments that you make during the course of a fight. All of those things are what determines what level a fighter is on. And so for me, being at the level that I'm at, I understand that one coin phrase for boxing is fast chess. And I understand
high-speed chess.
High-speed chess.
Right.
I understand what that means. I understand how to use that, you know. So I think that's what we're about to see in this fight here, is you'll see a guy playing fast chess and another guy who is just graduating from checkers, maybe.
The levels and also options to choose from when you got a superior level.
I love the options.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. But the last 6 years, along with probably Canelo Alvarez, you have fought the best competition in boxing pound for pound since 2014. It's been like Broner, Brook, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, I'm missing Andre Berto, etc. Do you feel like this is you getting a tune-up fight?
I think I'm doing what I have to do. I think there have been other fighters. I'm not gonna say anyone's name who have taken a fighter who have fought an opponent who wasn't known or wasn't heard of or was said, "Hey, I'm taking a tune-up fight." For me, it could have been Errol Spence in a rematch. It could have been Keith Thurman in a rematch. It could have been Danny Garcia in a rematch. It could have been anyone. But at this point in time, because of this pandemic, Sebastian Formella is who they have found, who was willing to get in the ring with me August 22nd.
Is that probably smart on PBC's side? Because doesn't every fighter at some point, it can't just fight killer after killer after killer. Like, you want to fight killer after killer, but is it is it probably a good choice to give you this type of fight right now?
Well, I mean, I guess. I think for me, boxing is supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to be lucrative from a financial standpoint. And boxing is supposed to get people out of their seats. That is something that I thrive on. I thrive on making people get excited, making people feel good, and making people feel motivated and inspired by what they see from me in that night of that fight. So for me, I think that it's important that whoever I'm getting in the ring with can present that type of challenge to bring me up to the level that I can fight at, to get those people out of those seats. So
do you worry about fighting down to the level of competition?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But I don't know if this is necessarily what PBC should have done or could do, but I do know that right now at this point in time it was all we could do.
Right. Do you think this fight will end up being a Paulie Malignaggi type of performance?
I'll be honest, I don't expect this fight to go the distance. I can remember the last time I said something that I guaranteed something, and that was when I fought Danny Garcia. I said I wasn't leaving New York without that title. I'm not really into guaranteeing and things like that. I like to just get in there and make it do what it do. But I don't see this fight going the distance.
Formella, just watching tapes on him, he's not the best inside fighter. That's kind of your bread and butter. Although you've added more options as the years go by.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something you could take advantage of in this fight? I
really enjoy what we have been able to accomplish in this camp. I think you'll see a different Shawn Porter in the ring in this fight, and it's just it's direct contributor to the things that we've done in this camp. We trained a little different. The approach to this fight is a little different in terms of the game plan. Just a little different. There's some subtle nuances that are going to show up in the ring, and I think that's why I feel so confident that a knockout will come, is because I can see how the knockout is going to be set up, and I know that it's going to play out the way that it's supposed to play out.
Yeah, because your father, Kenny, what do you think of him saying this may be the best you've looked in the gym?
You know what, he told me that yesterday, and I don't agree with him. I think that we've worked harder in the past. I think that we've done different things in different camps to make every camp different and make every camp better. And I think that might be what my dad is seeing. My dad is seeing that we've done things differently in this camp, and it's made this camp, as a conclusion of this camp, has made it the best camp. And we've said this time and time again now for years. We look at each other, we say, well, this is the best camp we've had. I don't know how we keep doing this. And I've even asked, like, okay, at some point we can't say that anymore, but I think in some ways this has become the best camp that we've had, and I think it's just a combination of... So we got a sparring partner in here before we got the opponent that we were going to have for this fight. The sparring partner ends up being the perfect boxer to get prepared for this fighter. And we got this kid, the 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid, probably a month before we got the name of the fighter.
24.
Oh, he's 24. I didn't know he was 24. Well, there you go.
He looks young.
He looks young, and that's it's what we say in boxing is kid. However, my point being is, a month before we know who we're gonna fight, we already have the game plan for this fighter. So we're looking at tons and tons of preparation for this fight. Everything has been right on time to this point. I woke up thinking that, and that's how I feel right now.